It's happy hour again from Central City, New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. We're at Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle, Haley Boulevard. Casa Borrega is a bar, a restaurant, and a live music venue where you can come down and have food, hear music, and have a cocktail like we're doing right now. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. In the next 60 minutes, you're going to meet just 3 of the many thousands of fascinating people who live in New Orleans, and you'll get to hear some live music as well. At the end of the show, you might conclude New Orleans is a great city where people love to talk, have fun, and enjoy great music, or maybe not. But you probably know that already, so let's get right on with doing nothing but enjoying the next 60 minutes of happy hour together. My fabulous guests sitting around the table today are, you're not going to believe this. I tell you, I've had a lot of interesting people on the show, and each week I'm amazed that we keep on finding more interesting people, but I think we've reached a new level of incredible here. If you listen to this, Lydia Hand is here. Lydia graduated from Tulane University in May of this year with a BA. I thought it said bar. However, there's a period between B and A, right?
Yes, there is.
There is. What
a shape degree. But the BA doesn't get you that. So.
You didn't learn that. Did you do English as part of the BA?
No, economics.
You didn't. Economics. You have a BA in economics and business, I believe.
And business.
A BA in economics and business. While attending university, Lydia fought competitively and holds the International Chinese Martial Arts Championship World title.
Whoa.
How about that?
Indeed, yep.
That's absolutely incredible. And the Louisiana State Golden Gloves Championship title. So you're like a kickboxer and a regular boxer.
And a boxer,
Traditional
yes.
boxer.
I actually started kickboxing, and it's not such a difficult transition between the two. It
Really?
turns out. Yeah.
I can't wait till you kick Jack's ass. Get on with that in a minit. Until
because the fist fights.
we're ready for a fight. Until recently, Lydia was the owner of the. Is that pronounced G-O-W or GAL?
G-O-W.
What does that stand for?
God of War.
God of War. Jesus, I'm scared now. Until recently, Lydia was the owner of the GOW martial arts gym, which she has now sold, so she can move to the Yucatan. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Listen to this for a sentence. I've never read this sentence in my life. So she can move to the Yucatan to become a professional scuba diver, leading eco tours and exploring and charting the extensive underground lake system in Quintana Roo.
Yes.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
Very excited.
Where are you from originally?
Well, I traveled a lot when I was younger. My father actually lives in Southeast Asia, and we lived in Thailand for a little bit.
Do you like Obama?
Well,
Isn't he
I was
from
born
Thailand
in New
or
York
something?
City. So
Okay, you're born in New York
that
City.
clears that
Okay,
up.
so you could be president of the United States,
I
yeah.
could.
I wouldn't be surprised if I'm reading that
could.
sentence in another couple of years as well. Lydia, thanks for being here on Happy Hour. To my left is Billy Patu. Hi, Billy.
This is not going to be a great follow-up.
I know, this is... we all seem
So
extremely
disappointing.
lame compared to that, but we can't all be fabulous, kick-ass boxing superstars. Billy has a graduate degree as well in clinical psychology, which he has not put to any formal use.
Not a bit.
Though it's no doubt useful in his current occupation, selling real estate for French Quarter Realty.
That's correct.
See, there you go. So
Pop around
it
downtown.
was worth doing that degree
Sure.
for some reason. Prior to selling houses, Billy painted them with his company Patu Painters
Correct.
and worked for event planners traveling around the United States planning parties and concerts for large companies.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe it's not,
I know. It's not
It's
as
not the
nifty
world
as
champion.
You get to
Right.
party.
Yeah, exactly.
you get to organize parties. I mean, how bad could that be, really? And sitting across from me is the fabulous Jack Locke. Jack, welcome back to Happy Hour for the 5th time, is
Yeah,
it?
I think it is the 5th time.
Unbelievable.
A veteran.
And listen to why Jack is here. He is. Jack was our very first music guest ever on Happy Hour back in 1963.
Right.
Jack is a singer, songwriter, author, game designer, screenwriter, and film director. How about that? Jack's current live music acts include the Jack Locke Rock Show, the Nola Treblemakers, the Speakeasy Serenaders, Freak Show to Go, and Jack is a 4-letter word, which is funny if you read it because Jack is spelled J-A-K. I should spell that actually for anyone listening. J-A-K is Jack, and Locke has got the C in it, L-O-C-K-E.
Right.
Anyway, Jack's latest recording projects include remastering and reissuing rarities, it says breathing. I thought it said breathing new life into older albums and demos and releasing them online. Jack is the writer and director of a movie in progress called Targeted, which was inspired by a screenplay that Jack wrote at the age of 6. We've got a lot to get on with today.
Has it changed at all? or-
Well, sort of yes and no.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second,
Right.
actually, but that's a very good question. And my last sentence here, Jack is the author of a brilliant novel called Frog Dell's Junkyard. And as I always say on the show when Jack's on here, if you don't listen to anything else in the show, if you've listened to this much, and you're saying at this point, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit, I'm not interested in any of these people, and I've got something better to do, at the very least, go online and get a hold of Frog Dell's Junkyard. And I'm not kidding I'm saying this as a person who doesn't read novels. Do you read novels, Lydia?
I try to, yes.
Do you? You have trouble reading because your education is sort of lame?
Well, she's got that
got
No,
brain
I got
damage.
that far.
Beating people up.
Billy, are you a novel reader?
I try. Not as much. I usually have a couple going, and
Do
they
you?
take forever. No, a couple going over years. It's like I have one, and then I forget about it for a while, and I pick
Right.
another one up.
What are you currently reading?
A friend of mine wrote a book, and it's about it's called Difficult Men, and it's about the third golden age of television. It's a guy named Brett Martin, really great guy. He lives here in town, and
What is the third golden age of television?
I don't know if he made that up or not, but it seems appropriate. He talks a lot about sort of the Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, this whole new genre of television, the cable serial or whatever you want to
Right.
call it. But the hero, the anti-hero as the hero, The Sopranos, all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of...
What is he saying? What's the angle?
His angle is just, he talks about the process, the writing room, everything like that. And it's just a really interesting time for TV and just how it kind of reflects on life. Again, I'm reading it. I have not finished it, so
Okay.
we might have to get him on there next.
What's it called again?
It's called Difficult Men.
Difficult Man.
Yeah.
And what is it saying? Is it saying anything about these? Because there is an interesting similarity between these things that are so popular now. Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, and The Wire, which are the three best things ever on television, according to everybody. That's the sort of common wisdom. And yet they're so dark and so negative, and so the characters are so marginal and weird.
Well, he's talking about just, I think his book delves more into the process of the development of the shows and how we can now, we're not dumbing it down, we're not homogenizing TV like it used to be, sort of over network television. And I think cable television is now brought, they basically raised the bar, so to speak. And his book speaks about a lot about that, as well as the individuals. It doesn't really go into the characters specifically, but it goes into the whole process and the age
So
of
it's
TV,
sort of
if you
behind
will.
the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot behind
So it's
the
not a
scenes.
sociological or anthropological thing about the place in society of all these things.
No,
It's
it
just
is in the sense of the writers and how they reflect what's going
Right.
on, but it's really more about the process and really the concept of TV and where it's going today.
Hmm.
It's an interesting thing. He's a great guy. He's a really, really bright guy. He writes a lot for Esquire, Bon Appetit, and it's a New York Times reviewed book. I mean, it's like a real book. He's not just some guy. No,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
No, it's not like
It's a real book.
he's no Jack Locke. With
Right,
his-
yeah.
Oh, no.
With my fake books and my...
Well, your book is published. You published it yourself.
Well, it's
right?
self-published, through
But
Amazon.
but these days, it doesn't really matter. If you,
Yeah, it's getting more and more popular.
Right. You don't. The big difference though is whenever you have it published by a legit publishing house, there's that whole promotional push and the marketing that goes along with that that you're severely lacking as
But that's-
when you self-publish.
Yeah, but that's one author in a million that gets that done for them. It's like the record companies too.
It's true, and it's one author in a million of those that ends up actually finding any kind of real success.
Whereas these days, you don't need
even
to be
that way.
dependent on that kind of bullshit, and you can do it yourself, which you've done. And I'm telling you, seriously, if you listen to the show and you're still with us and you're still thinking about bugging out, at least go online and find Frog Dell's Junkyard. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle and so on, right?
Right, yeah,
I'm
finally
so-
put it
I'm-
on
and I don't read anything, really. I mean,
Is that your site? Is that like a blog? What is that?
What's that?
Tell me about it.
It's a novel.
It sounds- Oh, it's your novel?
yeah, it's
oh,
a
it's the
novel.
one that you've been writing since you were 6.
No,
that's
that's
another. That's a movie.
that's a
It starts
movie.
off with
No.
Frog.
called
Frog is
Targeted.
good.
No, I started writing Frog Dell's Junkyard about, 12 years ago at this point, and it took me 10 years to write it, and I finally put it out in 2010.
Oh,
What's
that's
what's the one sentence that would someone said to you, "What's Frog Dell's Junkyard about?" What would you say?
It's a political satire. That's that's about as small as I can
it's a
condense it, I
political
guess.
satire.
Oh, okay.
It is, and it's very clever. It doesn't take really. You wouldn't say
Let me
it's on
let
one
me
side.
amend that. It's a political satire that you don't need to know anything about politics about to read.
Oh,
Yeah.
even better.
It's not Republican or Democratic or
Right?
anything
No,
like
there's
that.
no agenda. It actually the whole point. A lot of the point of me writing it was to sort of. There's a word that's escaping me right now. so I'm
Drunk?
not gonna- no.
That wasn't it.
I think it was quality. Quality is the word you're
No, it kind of it kind of does away with that whole. It tries to sort of lampoon the whole. You should
Well, it does.
subscribe
It's-
to
yeah,
one
right.
Party or the other.
It
that kind of
transcends
ideal.
politics.
Right. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, but
Oh well, I'm trying to help you out. Anyway, it's really fucking
it's
good.
a book.
Is the main
that
thing.
that
It's a
was
great
written.
read.
There you go.
Would you have been able to self-publish the way you have now without ebooks having become so popular?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't have been able to self-publish if it weren't for Amazon Create Space. That's what I put it out through. Originally, it was a paperback. Before it was actually.
So was it already
urging.
self-published before you put it through? Amazon?
Before I put it on
Okay,
Kindle.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you sold any?
I've sold a few. Yeah.
Have you got reviews? Have people reviewed it and said they liked it or hated it?
Yeah,
or
I've had a few reviews. Yeah.
Has anyone said it sucks?
Not yet. Still waiting on that.
That's
Yeah.
good. I guess that helps in a way. Create some sort of a...
Some encouragement.
Hey, so Lydia, have a drink. No, don't let me stop
thank
you
you,
drinking.
thank you.
See, I watch you pick up that glass of whatever we're drinking.
You're
we
obligated to pause.
We have to find out what it is. No, I notice you've got beautifully manicured hands. Look how gorgeous that looks.
Thank you.
Well, this is French cut.
Yes,
Nails.
the French
How can you punch
manicure.
somebody in the face with that?
That
nail?
was my question.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Billy. No, I don't
Well,
know.
actually, they're a little long right now, so I've noticed that when I make my hand into a fist and I make contact, be it a bag or a face, they kind of dig in, so I have to get them a little bit shorter.
You make contact with someone's face when you hit them.
Yes.
You're not wearing gloves when you do that? Like
I
boxing
am,
gloves?
but when I hit someone's face, it still pushes my hand back and pushes my nails into my hands.
I
so,
thought those boxing gloves were so big that your nails wouldn't go anywhere near your palm.
Oh, you can feel it.
You can.
Well, it
The nails are
depends.
shoved into the end of
It
the...
also depends what type of gloves you're wearing.
What type do you wear?
Well, for bag work, I tend to wear heavier gloves, and if I'm sparring, I wear lighter gloves. And if I'm shadow boxing, I wear no gloves at all. And if I'm hitting a bag, I wear whatever I want.
And if you're listening to this and you haven't seen any photos of Lydia on Facebook, which you can go onto our Facebook page and see photos from the show, would you go? I mean, you're two regular-looking guys. These are two handsome guys, actually, aren't they?
She's a pretty girl.
She's
and
gorgeous.
She scares the hell out of me now.
She's gorgeous
She's
looking.
a very pretty girl.
Yeah.
And I just really want to see her beat somebody up now.
It's amazing that you look so normal and pretty. That aren't you scared of getting your nose broken or your eye gouged out or something?
Well, nowadays they have a pretty good reconstructive surgery.
Thank God for that, right?
Thank
That's your
God
backup
for
plan.
that. But the plan A is to not really get hit at all in the face.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's
you're a
the
fighter.
ultimate goal. But yeah, it happens. It's surprising, though. You know, I thought that going into this when I was sparring or training or in a fight, I'd come out. And, you know, if you get hit, you kind of expect from the movies or something like that, you're going to come out with a black eye or a broken nose. But not so much, you know? Like, your neck is a little sore because your head's twisted and your face might be a little swollen. But I have almost had no black eyes and no broken
And you're
bones.
a world champion
Yes,
fighter.
yes.
Okay, well, you know, we're going to talk about a world champion fighting in a minute. We're going to come back to that. But we've got two things to do. What, Jess? One thing was we have to find out what we're drinking, because on last week's show we had a competition to name the happy hour cocktail, and the winner of the happy hour naming contest was Cotinga software developers. So this week and for the next 3 weeks, our happy hour cocktail is the Cotinga Soft cocktail of the week, which is tonight, and the creator of it is Jess, the bartender and manager here at Casa Borrega. So Jess, tell us what we're drinking.
Well, you're drinking a pomegranate with cassis tea. It has fresh orange juice, cassis, which is a blueberry liqueur, a little bit of rum, and an iced tea.
And you made that up?
Yeah, of course.
How do you come up with one? You just have a feeling?
It depends on what's in my head that day, I guess.
Okay. What was in your head this afternoon?
I needed some caffeine, and I thought it would be good to be fruity.
Fruity caffeine with
Fruity
with a
caffeine.
shot of rum.
Basically, yeah.
It's not a bad job.
You have to
actually.
add good booze.
It's excellent.
It's
Yeah,
an
it's really
awesome job.
Well, how do you
It's
like
really
it, you
yummy.
guys?
I think it's great. It tastes like tea with a little kick. It's really good.
Well, I'm almost done with mine,
I
so
know,
clearly
I know.
it's
Well, you'll have
pretty
to have
good.
another then.
There
Yeah,
you
we
go.
have a giant picture of them. Okay, so the Cotinga Soft, that's a Cotinga Soft happy hour cocktail. What is the name of it?
A Cotinga Soft.
Oh, that's what we're just calling it.
That's what we're going to call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cotinga Soft
enough.
happy hour cocktail of the week. Okay, that's it. Okay,
One
Jess,
every
thanks.
Thursday, of course.
All right, so will be another one next week, a different one.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
We'll
All
keep
right.
creating.
Okay, thanks. So then I thought the next thing we should do after that is because, you know, I've got the whole thing planned out here, as you can see.
Oh,
Oh,
excellent.
it's blank. I think the next thing we should do is listen to a song from Jack Locke, don't you?
Oh, excellent.
And then we're going
Okay.
to come back after that and talk about international punching and violence. So-
And kicking.
and kicking. So Jack,
Yes.
what's the? I should say that I've been trying to get Jack back on the show even though he's been on here a million times before.
But I think we tried like 8 or 9 times.
And every time I try to get you on, you're in Homer. Is that just a line that you use on
No,
me?
it's not.
That's a good line.
I would never use a line on you.
Well,
It's,
what are you doing in Homer every week?
we have a lot of shows with the NOLA Troublemakers out there, the 1950s band that I do. We have a regular gig out there, and it's usually on Thursdays.
That explains it, because
Yeah.
we do our show, we tape our show on Thursday.
Right.
So where are you playing in Homer?
It's a club called the Boxer in the Barrel. It's just down the
Strange
street.
coincidence.
Yeah, look at that.
The
Yeah, how
Boxer.
about that? Didn't even think of that.
What's the logo?
It's a barrel.
Not anything to do with boxing.
There's no boxer. Yeah, that's
With a fist in it.
I was thinking that too. Why wouldn't they take the word boxer off that? I wonder. It would be cheaper to
I
print.
don't know. Yeah. So you'd have
Anyway,
to
the
ask
Boxer
them.
in the Barrel, and you play there every Thursday night with the
Well, not
Trouble
every
Makers.
Thursday. Usually, like
Every Thursday, I want
every
you on the
other
show.
Thursday.
Anyway,
Every
that's right.
Thursday that you want me. Right.
So the Troublemakers is the 50s band that plays like retro 50s music.
Correct. Yeah, 50s rock and roll. And
So what are you
some
going to
New
play for
Orleans
us right
things.
now?
I was thinking if y'all want to back me up on the choruses of this one, it's super easy. The
You
words
mean
are,
like sing?
I ain't got nobody, and I'm so sad and lonely. I think y'all can handle that.
Oh my God!
Oh, man.
Rough, man.
That's
didn't
asking
know.
a bit much, but
I didn't know if this was going to be part of it.
no, we don't usually have audience participation. Actually, well, we're not the audience, I suppose. That was why.
Just participation.
I can't
You
stop
mean we don't
looking.
usually
I
have
can't stop looking at this,
Lonely and
these
I've got
manicured.
no
Look at
bed.
this.
I know.
Aren't you
Yeah,
staring at that as
buddy,
well?
I'm
It's
so
crazy.
sad and lonely.
We need to get a photo of your manicured
I have
hands.
to say, that's
This is a Louis Prima tune. Sometimes we'll do it with the Troublemakers. Most recently, I've been doing it with the Speakeasy Serenaders, which is another group that I do.
And
Which
this-
does Prohibition era and Dixieland music. So, just a gigolo. Here we go.
I'm just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. They forever they dance, selling each romance. Oh, what they say. There will come a day when you could pass away. Zip, zip up, what will they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo. Zip, zip up, life goes on without me. I'm just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. They forever they dance, selling each romance. Oh boy, boy, what they say. There will come a day when you could pass away. What will they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody, not nobody. I'm so sad and lonely. I'm so sad and lonely. Sad and lonely, sad and lonely. Oh, some sweet mama, come take a chance with me. 'Cause I ain't so bad. Now it's my turn. Just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. They forever they dance, selling each romance. Oh, boy, boy, what they say. And there'll come a day when you could pass away. Say, what will they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. Here we go again. I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody, nobody, nobody. I'm so sad and lonely. Sad, lonely, sad, lonely. Want some sweet mama, come take a chance with me. 'Cause I ain't so bad. And I see that sweet old song. It's got such a sweet beat. It goes, hobbity zippity hobbity zip-up, zip-up. I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody, 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 nobody. I'm so sad and lonely. Sad lonely, sad lonely. Oh, some sweet mama, come take a chance with me. 'Cause I ain't so bad. And I see that sweet old song. Oh, it's got such a sweet beat. It goes, hobbity zippity hobbity zippity hobbity zippity zip-up. I'm so sad and lonely. And nobody cares about me.
wow. That was great.
That like this awesome barrage of energy I was
Dude, just
not
to stand
expecting.
next to
That
it, I
was
mean,
fantastic.
Just to be close to it is kind of awe-striking. It's
Yeah.
so right next to me. It's weird.
He looks like a normal guy.
He does.
You wouldn't look at him walking down the street. You might pass him and think, that just looks like a nice-looking guy with a pair of glasses and a nice haircut and a regular-looking shirt, and then he does that.
And then he whips out the guitar.
Yes.
Pretty nifty.
Good work, Jack.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
That was hilarious.
That was funny too.
But Jack is right. Some of them. I mean, we should probably tell the stories about how many times you've been kicked out of places.
Oh yeah.
Why?
He's been kicked out of
Great
actual
stories.
venues, even though people are coming and buying drinks.
Are you surly?
But why?
'Cause
What'd you do?
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's the
scary.
wild card.
Made the locals nervous or something. I've been kicked out of I think 4 or 5 different states now.
You need to bring a
venues
kickboxer
in 5
up
different states.
You need a backup.
Wow.
That's
There
your
you
body.
go. Yeah, there you go.
I like this. I like this duo.
Anyway, Jack, thank you so much. We'll have another
Thank
song
you.
in a little while.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Lydia, tell us, what attracted you first to beating the crap out of people?
I'm not sure if I thought of it at first exactly that way, but my coach actually taught a kickboxing class at Tulane University.
How did you even have a coach, though? How did you start out getting into this?
Well, that's it. He taught kickboxing at
But
Tulane
so
University.
you just signed up for a kickboxing
I just
class?
signed up for a kickboxing class with my fellow Tulane students.
And I'm trying to figure out why you would sign up for a kickboxing class. For example, did you go to Tulane?
Loyola.
Billy? Loyola. Did you sign up for a kickboxing class?
No.
No. Jack, did you go to college anywhere?
I went to Nicholls State. Down in
And did you
Thibodeau.
sign up for a kickboxing class?
No.
Graham DePonte, our producer, did you sign up for a kickboxing class when you were in college, becoming a lawyer? No. Chris Kehoe. Law school. You did. You could have used one. Chris, you went to college and graduated recently from Loyola. Did you sign up for a kickboxing? There you go. Almost nobody in this room has signed up for a kickboxing class. Why?
Well, I guess it's just it seemed like a good way to stay in shape and learn some self-defense. And
Okay,
that's
so
what
you were
it-
concerned about self-defense?
A little bit, yeah. I thought it's just a good basic fundamental to know as you go through life. So I signed up and I met my coach, Coach Spider there, and I had a lot of fun, and he said that if I enjoyed it, I should, after the class was finished, go to his dojo off campus
sounds
Good,
like a line.
good line.
on
Yeah.
Fret
Hey.
Street.
You want to go to my
Right.
dojo?
Come back to my dojo.
It even
If
sounds
you like
dirty.
this class, wait till you see what I've got back at the dojo.
But he had an assistant coach with him. Her name was Stephanie. She became a good friend of mine. And she trained there, and he had some of the guys from the dojo come to class at the Riley Center and spar with us a little bit and show us some stuff. And it looked, what they were doing looked so much cooler. They looked so awesome. They were just, doing these crazy kicks on the bag and stuff. And I thought that
Like a
looked
kung
like
fu
so
movie.
much fun. Exactly. And I wanted to be one of the cool guys. So I went to the dojo on Ferret Street, and I guess when you're just kind of in like a cultural immersion and you're, kind of surrounded by that environment, it stops seeming so foreign and strange, and it just kind of happens organically.
It's Chinese.
It's Sanshao is Chinese, actually. That's what I have my black belt in. It's Chinese kickboxing.
When you
but
say
with-
you're culturally immersed in it, what culture is it?
Just, the fight culture, the boxing culture, kickboxing, the idea that it's, natural. It's what you do to get into a ring, with somebody and for 2 minutes, try to beat the crap out of each other.
But kickboxing is quite different from regular boxing, right? Kickboxing is its own sport.
Yeah,
That's what
it
you
is
started off
It is
as.
its own sport, and that's what I started off in, was kickboxing.
And that's what you're the world champion.
Yes.
So how do you become a world champion at anything? Well, how did you? What were the stages? So you went to this class and you discovered
Right.
you were good at it, I assume.
No, my coach likes
No.
when
okay.
when anyone ever asks how I looked in the beginning, if he always knew that I was going to do what I did, he said, "No, God, she was terrible. Like her kick was awful, but she was trying so hard."
But that's that's him saying that if it wasn't for me, she'd be nothing.
No,
That's
that
just
was.
bullshit,
I think
I'm sure.
that was more of a. Yeah, I think it was more an ode to perseverance and determination. But I started training like 4 to 6 hours a day, 6 days a week.
While you're in school, still doing
While
a BA in
I was in
economics
school.
and business.
Yep.
But economics and business must be pretty easy. If you can spend 4 days a week kicking ass and then
Not so much.
Shh, it's a secret.
I think-
Don't tell anybody. especially not Tulane.
Yeah, don't tell
So
Tulane.
are
Don't
you-
tell Tulane I breezed through
So
there.
are you super bright and intelligent as well as being a world champion?
I am focused, very focused when I want to be. And I set goals and I pursue them. So I wanted to graduate.
You can do anything.
I think anybody can do something that they really set their mind to, as cheesy as that sounds. But I kind of eliminated all other distractions besides, training and school. I didn't really do the whole college thing where I went out and partied.
Did you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything?
I had a boyfriend my
How'd you have
sophomore
time
year.
for that?
I didn't really. Oh, I had a boyfriend before I started training.
And did he come along on the ride with you, or
No. I started training after I broke up with him.
She kicked his ass and then
No.
he's gone.
God, that would be like the greatest girlfriend of all time, I would think.
No.
Or the worst. I don't.
Or
one
the
of
worst.
other,
Still one of the
no,
two.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Imagine
it would be
if-
bad.
Imagine, look how beautiful that he is. Imagine if she was in love with you, for real. That
I'd
was
take a
really your
couple.
girlfriend, and she could also go kick anybody's ass.
I'd take a couple punches for that. I got to admit.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to stay in line
Like,
because
this
you wouldn't
is my
want.
girlfriend, and she's
Yeah.
gonna kick your
Yeah,
ass.
exactly. That's a good T-shirt.
You said something mean to me.
You're not a violent person in real life, though, I assume.
Oh no. Well, actually, a lot of people are like, "Oh, so you've got my back," type thing. But you're assault with a deadly weapon once you start.
Are you?
Once you start
Really?
competing, yeah.
So if you got into a fight, they really would pull that out, like.
if it wasn't self-defense, if you couldn't prove it self-defense, yeah.
So
So I have very good
So
control
if-
over my temper.
So if we were out, I got in a fight with some person, but
See
I
ya.
would not win. And if you got in a fight with somebody, but if we the same results, you would be at a more severe court situation than I would, just because I'm
yeah.
some bumbling fool.
Absolutely.
But you're like a ninja.
Absolutely,
Wow.
because I'm like a
I didn't know
ninja.
You're not. I think you are a
I'm-
ninja.
that's what they'll
A
say in
technical
court.
ninja, right?
Do people try and pick fights with you?
No one tries to pick
People
fights
don't
with
get
me.
drunk in a bar and go, "Hey, I could kick your ass."
No, they don't. I've never had any trouble with that. I'm sure some of my friends have, but
You should wear
I
your
guess
karate
just
suit
being
around.
female and I don't really have a sign on my forehead that says
World champion.
competitive fighter. So
Right. That's how you describe yourself, as a competitive fighter.
yeah, because I'm a boxer, but I'm also a kickboxer, and my specialty is sanshou.
Sanshou. How do you spell that?
SANSHOU.
And what does that mean exactly?
That is a good question.
Wow!
I don't know the
Finally,
literal-
I knew I'd finally come up with one. Thank you very much.
Good job.
Excellent.
I don't know the literal translation, but it is Chinese kickboxing. So it's like a normal kickboxing, but it has holds and throws, so you can actually catch someone's foot as they're kicking you, and you can put them on the ground. And then once they're on the ground, you have to let them
God,
get
I
back
wish we
up.
could do a demonstration of this on someone here. There's got to be someone.
Maybe a few
Hugo.
more iced teas.
Hey,
Jack, get your guitar.
so how did you get into this sort of whole? Sorry, have a sip of that thing. I'll ask Billy a question. Billy, have you been to a boxing match at all? You've been to these Friday night
I
fights?
have been to a bunch of boxing matches. This a friend of mine, a girl I used to date, she was a big boxer. She did it out of Crescent City Gym, and then her trainer is Robert Landry. You know, Bob, he's a great
I know
guy.
Crescent City Gym.
Yeah, she does stuff over there with Robert, and I used to go and get dragged to all the boxing matches all the time. So like I go there. I don't go there much anymore. We're no longer with the girl. But whenever I go to the bar, I'm waving, but she's waving. I'm like, hey, we have boxing friends. So we'd go there. Coach
Boxing
James, Stick and
friends.
Move Productions.
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Coach
yeah.
James. Every time he sees me, he pulls me up. He puts me in the ringside seats.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah, it's
you
a
got
fun
the
thing.
inside ticket.
Not anymore. I'm
Not-
out of that.
oh,
But I got to admit, it's a whole cool. There's a large boxing community in the city, which I had no idea. And I mean, I've learned that recently. But
Yeah.
it's a really neat. It's a really neat network of gyms and people, and they have matches, and it's pretty. They have a lot of events. It's fun to go to.
Yeah.
What happened to the girlfriend?
That's a whole different show.
How long were you together?
6 years.
Oh my
6
God,
years.
that's a long time.
Yeah, sweet girl. Wonderful. Wait, we're not talking about this on the air.
Welcome to a Grant Morris.
I
We
see
can, we can talk about it if you
No,
like,
no,
unless you'd
it's
rather
good.
not talk about it.
No,
You
it's
can always
fine.
take a sip of your drink. And
Yeah,
walk
have
out.
another one of those.
Yeah.
How long ago did you? How long ago did you break up after 6 years?
About 6
Oh, it
months
didn't
ago.
work.
Just 6 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, there must be something in the water.
Maybe.
Jess was just telling us that she just broke up with her husband 6 months ago as well.
Oh.
What happened to your girlfriend? Does she still live here, your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, she lives here.
Is she still
Absolutely.
boxing?
I assume she's still boxing, yeah.
No, you don't go anymore.
Well, no, I don't go
So
anymore.
there's a place across the street here on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard, this
Yeah, Friday night
Friday
fight
night
gyms.
fight joint.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that?
I did do a Friday night fight, and I occasionally train over there, actually. My coach does private lessons over there.
So you bought a gym, or
I did.
you started a gym, or how did that happen?
It was some combination of the two. And I'm not sure how it happened, but it happened.
You're amazing. How do you own a business without being sure how that happened?
Oh, it happened. I was still 19. It was my sophomore year of college, spring of my sophomore year of college, and my coach was not teaching in any one gym. He was going from gym to gym at different places, and I'd meet him wherever, and it was kind of frustrating. I wanted our own place. I was friends with everyone else who worked with him, and me and this other guy, my friend John, decided that we wanted one place to train out of, and we wanted our own gym, and our coach is absolutely fantastic, Coach Spider. And we wanted him to have, his own place and, a group of people who could represent him. We were really like a family. So I'm not sure how much of an economic decision it was versus an emotional one, but...
You were studying economics at the time.
I was. Actually, I didn't declare my majors till junior year, so this was a little bit preemptive. So John Spider and I all kind of banded together, and we got the paperwork done, and we...
Where is this joint?
Well, it was on Calhoun Street, and recently we moved to Velocity on Carrollton and Tulane.
So you leased a space.
We leased a space on Calhoun Street, and then we moved...
Where'd you get the money?
I fronted it, actually.
So you're wealthy as well as being...
Very industrious.
Wow.
Lots of
You're the-
summer
you're the
internships.
full
And,
ticket, yeah. Are you wealthy as well as everything else?
No.
Did you make a lot of money as an international kickboxing champion?
I was actually, I like to make this distinction that I'm still amateur,
Oh.
so I don't get
You don't
paid
get
to
paid.
fight.
There's
And
no
it was
prize
for
money.
pure love of the sport.
Oh, I thought you went professional at some point.
No, I was going to sign a contract to go pro this fall, and
Yeah.
instead, went off, decided to go off to Mexico.
Quit the whole
and
thing. So you-
Other
start
sponsors.
scuba
So you're
diving.
walking away from
Oh,
your whole life, basically.
I am. It was actually a very difficult decision. But yeah, so I'm walking away from
How
my
long
whole
you here?
life.
We'll get onto that in a minute. But how long are you here for? Because I've got an idea for you in the meantime.
Oh, well, I'm actually packing up my bags and leaving this evening.
I'm retired.
Right after the show.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You're leaving to go to Mexico right
Well,
after the
no,
show.
I'm leaving to visit family who think they're never going to see me again because I'm going to Mexico. But I leave for Mexico in December.
What part of Mexico? We need to get Hugo over here. He is actually from Mexico. He owns this bar, Casa Borrega,
Oh, excellent.
and he's Mexican.
Yeah, I
From Mexico
met him.
City.
Yeah.
What
in
what part of
Mexico.
Mexico are you going to?
I'm going to the Yucatan in the Quintana Roo state.
Jeez,
So
we need
it's
to
on
get-
the east
we
and the
need to get
Yucatan
Hugo
Peninsula.
over here and give you a bit of insider info.
Yeah, some insider info, some contacts. That would be great.
How
Be all alone in the
Today is
jungle.
the day. So where are you going to? New York to say goodbye to everybody?
Exactly. I'm going to New York. I'm going to Virginia, where my mom lives. Spend some time with her, and then I will be flying to Cancun.
Good old Graham DePonte, our producer, managed to hook you the last day.
Well, actually, I was either going to leave today or last weekend, and I decided
Make
no.
it today. Good old Graham. Thank you, Graham.
To
Good
stay
job.
for this.
No
Holy
kidding.
crap. Wow, I'm so glad we've got you. Because if you, God forbid, anything could happen to you, but this would be the last interview.
Wow.
That's a fantastic thing to have on her mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
called
I
her
will
right
I
before she
will
died.
I will die happily knowing
That your last
even
word.
my
So,
last statement.
so I'm going to come back to you in a minute. So think about what you'd like to tell the world as a
Before-
goodbye. Yeah.
Right. No
Yeah,
pressure.
about what you'd like the world to know about you that you haven't told anyone before, that you really wish you'd been able to tell someone. Because people often, die with regret that they didn't say one thing or another to someone, and most of them,
I think I just regret missing out on scuba diving.
no, but you're probably going to die scuba diving, is
Oh,
what I'm
if I was gonna
suggesting.
die
So you,
Oh, that's how it's going to happen.
what are you thinking, Jack? How would you have a kill
I would,
as a novelist and screenwriter?
that's right. I forgot why I come on this show. This is why. Yeah.
How would you kill
Oh,
someone?
He on
okay,
the
yeah,
road
we're
trip
going
up.
with the question.
Yeah.
All right.
How would you have this character killed?
Inner sleep, death by pillow, or something soft?
Smothering.
I don't know. Yeah, there you
God.
go.
It's either a pillow or water. Either way, it's suffocating.
But
that's awful.
That would be murder. You have someone
Well, no,
smother
we want it to be interesting. We want to have a story to it.
So
right?
you have someone murder her?
Sure, why not? I mean, if it's just
Oh,
crashing in
that's
the
awful.
ocean or drowning in scuba diving, then
Well, I'm
what's
thinking
that? Oh, well,
that's
yeah, she drowned. The end.
Well, that's some
no.
sort
You
of-
want to
that's-
have the story to continue going on. It's like, well, who did it? Why?
Oh, okay. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I was just thinking of some sort of tragic,
well,
romantic
I'm
end.
driving up to Virginia, so maybe.
Oh no, that's awful.
You have to
Some
get into
car
a boxing
trouble.
match
To
with
get
a
in-
hammerhead shark underwater, like this whole thing.
Billy.
You know, the Little Mermaid could be like the little ring.
Well, see,
girl.
that's why-
could swim around.
That's why I was going with
I
the
like
whole.
I like that idea.
Absolutely.
That's why I was going with the whole inner sleep with a pillow thing, because it's completely the opposite of what you'd be expecting.
Oh, you're playing against.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, okay,
okay,
that's-
I see.
No, Billy's going more for the big commercial Hollywood
Right.
movie. Which
Yeah,
is,
I'm doing the underground
big of a-
indie film.
Yeah,
treatment of
yeah.
the,
You're doing more of the James Cameron underwater Titanic meets.
It ain't nothing
Rocky.
unless it's got the Little Mermaid in it.
Okay, Titanic meets Rocky would be a great selling point for this, though. It'd be a great way to go.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not wishing you're going to. Hopefully,
we
you
don't
can
want
come
you to
back.
die,
You know,
right,
yeah,
I'd rather
I
you
would
came back.
like to visit NOLA again.
But if
I'd
anybody's
like to
going to
come
die
back.
in the coolest fashion amongst all of us, I think it might be you.
Probably
You have,
so.
you
yeah.
have the you have the coolest trail that direction. Let's put it that
I don't know
way.
how we
the
got
most
onto this.
exciting
Well,
possibilities
because you
for
got
death.
us onto this.
I
Jack,
think
Yeah,
it's your
Jack,
fault.
you very
really.
purposely
Sorry,
directed
I don't know
how we
this
did this.
tangent.
Jack, how's the film going? Talking about
We've
killing
got
people?
about 3 scenes left to shoot.
That's it, just 3 scenes?
Just 3 scenes, but
Wow.
there are 3 problem. Well, one of them is a problematic scene. The other is just getting it organized together.
I'm sure we can solve that for you right now.
Well,
What's-
let's hope so. I need a
what's the-
saloon.
First of all, tell us. Well, look where we are, for Christ's sake.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a saloon that looks like it's from the late 18th century. Late 19th century.
Well, we could
excuse me.
take down the picture
Some
of
of these
Michael
pictures
Jackson.
look like they're.
Yeah, we just have to take down these records.
All right, let me amend that again. Late 19th century looking saloon that will let me film here free of charge.
That narrows
thus the
it
rub.
down.
Hugo
That's your
will let
friend's
you
living
film.
room.
I'm sure Hugo will let you film here. But we can ask him that in a minute. But so tell us, just give us a little bit of the backstory. If anyone hasn't heard the story before, tell us what Targeted is about.
I ran across a script that I wrote when I was 6 years old. This was, last year, I believe? I ran across this script. I read it over the phone to one of my friends that I had known since then. And he just thought it was the funniest thing. He's like, dude, you got to film this thing. Because I've done music videos and short subject films and stuff like that. And so I was like, yeah, that'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to film this stupid movie. And the more I thought about it, it was like, yeah, that would actually be kind of funny. So I started getting together all of the props. I started ordering things. I started getting sets, figuring out what I'd need. Because it was like, what would be better than to film this Western movie that a 6-year-old wrote and give it the most accurate historical treatment? Don't change the lines or the actions or anything.
So you
but-
haven't changed anything.
Well, not with that. What ended up happening is I had so many people committed to the project and so much money of my own money that I put into it that I decided, if I just did the script that I wrote when I was 6, it'd be funny, but it'd be kind of a waste of potential.
So
you
it's
know?
a 6-year-old Western?
It's a Western that a
A
6-year-old wrote.
spaghetti Western? Or wait.
Yeah,
Spaghetti-
SpaghettiOs Western.
SpaghettiOs was about to say.
But what I ended up doing then is it was like it'd be a real waste of resources and talent to just write just film this stupid movie. So I took a lot of the same sets that I had already gotten together and props and the same characters and just wrote a completely new script with a completely new story that's actually got an adult story to it. And so I'm filming both of the scripts at the same time.
Oh, okay.
in the same
How are you
location.
going to put those
Right.
together?
What do you mean?
Like, you're filming them separately,
It's
so they're
gonna
going
be
to be
side by side, or
two
yeah.
separate movies?
Oh, you
or
mean whenever
what?
I release it?
Yeah.
Whenever I put it up.
Interflash between the two
I
or
have
something?
not decided yet. I mean, they're 2 completely separate stories, but I'm going to... I don't know yet. Whenever I get to that point, I got to finish filming the damn thing first.
So
Right.
what remains to be filmed? Scenes from both movies.
Yeah, both movies, the scenes in the saloon, which are in both movies, and there's some scenes that are exteriors, outdoors.
Well,
that
I
need
believe that
filmed.
this is what happens when people come up against reality making movies. They have to, come up with a new location.
Right.
If it's
and
written in a
that-
saloon, but unfortunately we can't afford a saloon, so now could we do it like, in
right,
your
and I'm-
bedroom?
as we've gone past a year that we've been, putting it together and actively filming it, it's gotten to, because we've already had to do that with a few scenes where we've had to rewrite things.
Are you in
sometimes drastically?
Are you in it?
Yes, yeah, I play the one of the leads.
You don't even look the same as you did a year ago.
No,
That happens.
How does that work for continuity?
Well, no, if you can tell, I'm trying to grow my hair out a little more because usually I keep it pretty close cropped, mostly for the 50s shows because that's what brings in the most money. What's that?
Oh, really?
Mm.
But this is So what are you trying to grow it out so you can look like it's more of an outlaw?
Well, no, so that I can look like I did in the scenes that we filmed at this point last year, and
Why did you get it cut at all for the 50s band?
Well, yeah, because the 50s band, I like to have it to where I can style it in that sort of particular fashion because that's the band that pays me the most. So
That's the NOLA Troublemakers.
The NOLA Troublemakers, right?
I'm surprised by the amount of filming that goes on in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's Hollywood South.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal here. But even the small independent projects.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Just like the individuals.
Yeah.
Right.
But all these people here, who are making movies, that's a good point. All these people making movies, isn't someone got a set that's a saloon or something with all these movies here that you could
you would
sneak
think,
into?
I have not run across them yet. I feel like I'm kind of an outlier from that whole scene because there's the whole SAG conglomerate, which I really don't have the resources. I mean, I know it sounds all like prestigious and maybe impressive. It really isn't. Whenever you
Sounds
hear
glamorous.
filmmaker, director, glamorous. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it does.
But it isn't. It's like because I'm really going at this from a super underground indie, almost guerrilla film.
I just finished filming an independent movie, actually, it sounds like similar undertones, not necessarily to your Western, but to what you're talking about, called The Dojo. And we just kind of, we found a, sort of...
Dojo?
Yeah, a dojo, out in
it.
Prairieville, and
Right.
just, filmed the whole thing there. Nobody was SAG, and it worked out well.
Yeah. The thing
Full
about
experience.
Right. The thing about SAG, I'm not anti-SAG. I'm not anti-success or anything like that. It's just I can't afford
Just because of cost to it.
right
Yeah.
the cost. Because if you're going to go with SAG, then you've got to go by all of these different regulations, and to a certain degree, they sort of tell you how you have to do your process of movie making.
So you're way under the radar. You're not. SAG is
super
a Screen
under-
Actors Guild, which is a
Well,
union.
that's the thing. Anybody who I've come across, I've had to turn away actors actually because they are SAG.
They are
and
SAG,
so
right.
in order to have them perform in my film,
Billy, you're in real estate, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so you're going into buildings, in and out of buildings all day.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere around here that would look like a saloon that you could dress up?
There are some great saloons that you don't have to dress up that are actually, I can't take them off the top of my head, but, there are a few spots. And, there's some great old rooms that you might be able to put together. Sure.
What's the Irish pub right up on St. Charles around here that's...
The
it's
Irish
got...
House?
Yes,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, yeah, that
That
wasn't a
sounds right.
smart-ass answer. That really is just it's called the
That was a
Irish
smart,
House. I didn't know if
smart
that's
ass
what you were
answer, but it was a
talking
good one.
Sorry.
But it has the saloon doors,
Yeah, it
right?
does.
It
Yeah.
has that classic.
how many thousands of dollars would they charge per hour to film?
They
there,
seem pretty laid back
is-
or
that
drunk.
That is a great guy.
That
guy, I
so,
met him
yeah.
the other day. Coincidentally, met him last week, and he is Matt Murphy is the nicest guy on the planet. He's one of these guys that'll probably be like, "Yeah, sure, come on in."
Oh, that would be
so
fantastic.
you never know. I mean, I'm not Matt. If you listen to this,
Never know
I'm
if you
not-
don't ask.
Yeah, exactly.
I've asked people before, and they have been extremely friendly in telling me exactly how much it would cost per hour to film.
Yeah, some people that are on that radar of filming, they really and I've done some of that where you scout out some locations and all that. But it's on their radar, so then they know they can ask money. But I'll bet you there are a lot of people if you just come. I mean, how long do you tie up a place for? Like a day, 6 hours?
Yes,
I mean, whatever?
for that shoot, that's a pretty involved scene. There's a big gunfight and a choreographed brawl and stuff in there, so probably be like a 2-day shoot. But
Sure, I would try and work
I am
as
well
long as I
aware-
can work myself. Guy in back in yellow hat. Absolutely, credited guy in back yellow hat.
in yellow hat.
But
that's what you
I
want?
mean, I'm sure if there's some people that you can just ask, and people are nice,
Right. Well, I
and some
think-
people are not.
I
Some
think
people,
because,
yeah.
Some people are
because
I was
New
about to
Orleans
say.
has seen so much happening with movies, that's why there's so much of the, I'm going to charge that because I know that somebody will pay it. If it ain't you,
Yeah,
it'll be
because
the next guy.
because my neighbor got $5,000 a day to someone to
Yeah.
use their front
Yeah.
room or
Right.
some bullshit like
Right,
that.
yeah.
So now everyone's ruined it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's spoiled for the rest of it.
grab
That's
it.
all right. You make it work.
Hugo, come over
Yeah.
here for 1 second. Hey, pull up a chair for a sec. I got not that one though. That's got
The
a
one with the
microphone.
mic on
This
it.
is Hugo Montero, who is the owner of Casa Borrega here, and I dragged you over here, Hugo, because Lydia, who is our guest today, this is her last day in New Orleans before she moves tomorrow to Mexico.
Oh, really? Where?
She's moving to Mexico to become a scuba diver.
Okay.
So I thought maybe you could give us some good advice.
I'll be in
Have you ever-
Tulum.
Okay.
Have you ever been scuba diving?
No. I
a great
don't
start.
swim.
Advice.
I don't swim.
Don't swim at all?
No, I mean, but I'm from the prole, which means I grew up really, really poor, not to be into social class activities or sportsmanship. But obviously, scuba diving is out of the budget of any Mexican. I can say 99% of the Mexicans, they don't even dream of scuba diving. There's this place in Acapulco, Mexico, where the people go without their protection, like really, really, really deep. And they catch piers and all that, no protection.
They just hold their
no
breath
latex, no,
Yeah.
all the paraphernalia, nothing. Just
It's really
like a real
impressive how
thing.
long some people can stay down just
So you're going...
Free
Lydia,
diving,
You're taking
yeah.
people on tours, though. You're taking tourists.
Right.
So it won't be Mexican people. It'll be
It'll
people
be
from
tourists.
outside of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of the most unbelievable ecological landscapes in the whole earth. I mean, it's just like the place with the Riviera Maya going to Belize is. I mean, I've been seeing videos. Jacques Cousteau used to be there, like in the '60s. This is like, I mean, breathtaking. It's like
Unbelievably
it is-
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. I mean, you can maybe like going to Maui or maybe like New Zealand, like the Polynesia, but really like the Tulum area is just, I mean, what you see on movies, on documentaries, it's kind of like a forest within the water. It's like poetic, It's,
Wow.
it's beautiful.
These are these
So-
caves you're talking about that are there
Yeah,
too.
and caves and
Yeah, they call it-
underground lake systems and
They call it cenotes. The old Magians used to sacrifice women, beautiful women, very beautiful women,
Okay.
Thank God
in
you
order
can kick
to
it.
that's how I'm gonna die, you
And
guys.
we're back to that again.
So what you've missed in the background...
in order to maintain like the ecological system going on. Somehow the Magians disappear. Nobody know what happened with the lost cities. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, good. So Lydia's background is she's also the world champion, no kidding, world champion kickboxer.
Oh my God, that's why she gets so strong.
That's
why
what
the
that's what I
strong
told you before when you
handshake.
shook your hand and you said, what
Yeah.
a strong handshake. I said, wait till you find out
No,
why.
no. It's not about how strong, but the way how you shake. It's
Ah.
kind of like a power shake.
Is
Like,
it?
Oh yeah,
Power.
it's totally
Strong.
like strong,
Yeah.
firm.
Well, she's a world champion
concise,
kickboxer, and she's the Louisiana champion, Golden Gloves actual boxer.
Congratulations, welcome to Casa Borrega.
And she's giving it
It's
all
a
up.
pleasure to have you
Thank
here,
you.
and you know something, you are gonna love my country, and
I'm
they're gonna
so
love
excited.
you, and they're gonna love you.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish at all?
A little bit. I'm gonna have to go through a crash course, I think.
When you come back,
By the time I leave.
you can come back and do Happy Hour in Espanol,
There you go.
which we'll also
do you speak Spanish?
I speak no Spanish at all, nor do I understand it, but Hugo is the host of Happy Hour in Espanol, which is the same
Well,
exact
we'll
show,
speak.
except in Spanish. So.
And Grant back in it was the 80s or the 90s. So you did something with Chich Marine.
90s.
90s. He did
I
a
think.
movie with Chich
I
Marine.
did. Was it the 80s or 90s? I don't know. Whatever
You
it
don't
was.
even remember.
Whatever it was, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I didn't speak Spanish, and nor did he.
No, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. It's just an amazing.
Hey, how do you get paid for this, by the way? Who pays you? Lydia. Who's paying you to be a...
Well, I'm going to be working with Labnaha Eco Tours, and they try to educate people about the culture and how to conserve the environment and stuff like that. So I'll be working with them.
Okay, any last words of advice, Hugo?
Yeah,
Seriously.
well, New York Times, which is owned by 40% by the second richest man in the earth, that is Mexican, Carlos Slim Perez. He's the first actionist of the New York Times. So somehow, like every 2 or 3 weeks, you have some page about Mexico, like in the travel section. Lately, in the last 2 years, the Riviera Maya, Tulum, and all that is the hip is the hip place to be. Italians, Germans, lots of New Yorkers. So she's going to be in good company. And, the whole drug cartel drama, which is not a drama, it's actually a very serious thing, like in the border, you are not going to be subject to anything. It's just beautiful. I mean, I'm envious. I'm jealous.
Can we go stay with you?
Buena suerte y diviértete mucho. Dale un beso para México. Give a kiss to my country.
Hooray.
I'm so jealous.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so
There
much.
you go. So now the next thing we're going to do is have another song from Jack Block. What do you think about that for an idea?
Excellent. I'm prepared
All right,
this
yeah, I'm
time
ready
too. I'm bracing
but
myself.
everything Jack does is different, so I bet you this will be totally different. What's this going to be?
This is a new song that it's an original. I actually wrote this. Wow. This one's called Letter.
Town has gone to sleep for now. I think I've got some time to write. Most of these folks you don't know. Well, I think you'll be surprised, or you might. They said we're gonna put a play together, though we don't know yet what it's about. Let everybody be in it, so that there's no one left to be in the crowd. You know you're 10 blocks from the beginning, 50 miles from the start. 100 times you'll stake your claim there, 1,000,000 miles from the mark. Time here, not sculpting up an image to play. This is my last letter, and here's the last thing I'll say. While I'm out there wasting time, maybe might find everything's a waste of time in the right frame of mind. All you left behind when it strikes you blind. Find whatever signs you read to. Here's where I reside.
Wow. That was ghostly. That was great.
Jack, what's that called?
What's that?
What was that called?
That's called Letter.
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 This is the last letter I'll write. Is that what
Right.
it's about?
Yeah.
So it's sort of along with the theme of today's show of
Right.
saying goodbye.
Exactly.
Goodbye forever.
Well, you are a great singer.
Thank you very much.
That's
Thank you.
powerful. Really
Thank you.
powerful stuff.
And the interesting choices of
Unexpected.
yes.
Yeah. It's great.
What is that? What are you saying as your last words?
No, it's the sort of concept I went with that was it's a letter I'm writing to past younger me who's got
To
all
yourself.
these. Yeah, right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
What are you saying to yourself? Is that?
Well, you heard. I just sang the letter.
I couldn't
to you.
quite make out every single
Yeah,
word.
get the lyrics.
What is
No,
it?
no. It's saying quit taking everything so seriously, basically.
Is it a lesson that you learned in your life? Actually,
I feel like it is. Yeah.
you used to take things a lot more seriously than you do now.
A lot less. Well, I used to. Yeah.
A lot more seriously.
I used to take things a lot more seriously.
And what
than I
was
do
the
now.
epiphany that you had that made you realize?
I don't know. It was a few different epiphanies. People close to me dying, and in a relatively short amount of time, and just
we're back to dying. So
Yeah, that's,
people dying, people dying make you realize that life isn't so serious. It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of a backwards
Yeah.
realization. Isn't it?
I would think. I think most times when people die, other people say, makes me realize I have to make the most of what I've got and take life seriously and not screw around.
Well, maybe
Right.
making the most of what you got is about not taking life so seriously.
Right, enjoy
Maybe
it.
if you're taking life too seriously in the
You
beginning.
can't enjoy it.
Well,
yeah.
you're a person, Lydia, who's just going to do whatever you damn well feel like.
Pretty much.
You think?
That's where
you don't
that's where
care.
I've reached. That's where I am right now.
I feel like the things that you're going to look back on when you're too old to do anything anymore is not going to be the big moments like I made a movie or, I went scuba diving or, anything.
It's going to be I was on
gonna
happy
be,
hour.
Well,
Yeah, it's gotta be
I mean,
honest.
not even that big. It was, I really enjoyed that sunset. That for the way that it looked from
Right.
that seat that I
Or
used to
I
have in
wish
my
I-
backyard.
I wish I had the balls to do that. What I missed out on, or your missed opportunities.
Well, Billy,
that you
what
I
do
think
you- what do
there
you
was
wish?
some article that came out about the top 5 regrets of the dying, and the top one was I wish I hadn't worked so much or so hard. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have. At least we're not affected by that one.
right.
Thank God we're out of that. Billy, are you working too
Glad
hard?
we're back to the grindstone.
Well, it's a Thursday. It's a work day. I've got a cocktail. You tell me.
Okay. What, Billy? If you could choose to walk away from your life, what would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like my life. I've crafted it to where I've walked into it.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're doing exactly what you want to be.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever do exactly what
No,
it
but
is,
you don't have a thing that
I
one of
don't
these
have it.
days, if I make a whole bunch of money, I'm going to go do this or that, the other thing.
I've kind of bounced around in a couple different things, which I've enjoyed every bit of it. But what I do now, I really do have a great little profession. I mean, I know it's like, oh, I sell real estate. It seems kind of, mundane. I'm not saying you're saying that, but like, that's
No, it
projection,
does sound
I guess.
mundane.
But it really is. It's a great little. I get to bop around downtown, uptown. I get to pop over for a cocktail hour. I get to interact with the development of the city. It's really a great lifestyle.
It's a good city to be in for it too.
It's fantastic.
And
It's
a
a
good
great
time.
place. The historic vibe, just what's going on. You can see the city, how it's changing. We're on this this tidal wave of change in a good way. And you just get to help direct it. You get to be a part of it. It's really just a neat thing. I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing, and I really like the lifestyle that accompanies it. And I just get to kind of
wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
awesome.
fun.
Do you get to meet interesting people?
I do. I
Do
get
you-
to meet a few here and there. I mean,
Today you do.
Today I do. Today I do. Every day. Look, everybody is. I've worked with a few people. I mean, not a lot of high-profile clients, but a few of them. But I got to say, they're just as interesting, or everybody.
Well, you're probably not going to get away with that. I'd asking who that is exactly.
I'm not. I'm not.
Can't. You've got to be able to tell us who did you sell the house to? Brad Pitt,
No. It's there's some rentals,
okay,
some movie
you
rental
guess.
stuff.
Lydia. Who's next?
Sandra Bullock.
No, none of that.
Jack, you got one guess. None of that. Is it one of the Saints?
No.
He's not-
Okay, I'll tell you. I rented a place. Quentin Tarantino was there for a couple of movies.
Ooh,
That's
even
pretty
better.
seriously
Yeah.
huge.
Hey.
It was a pretty funny little. We were looking at this place for a location thing, and
We're in.
it was all, it was in the quarter.
It all ties together.
And they were all up there. Their little producer. There was this little guy with his little Prada sunglasses on, and he was all kind of fancy. And Quentin Tarantino was talking something wacky about he got on the Chinese zodiac. It was like 10 in the morning, and he's all like, rats don't eat rats. And because I don't know what he was talking. He was talking about you can't eat your own zodiac sign.
Oh, okay.
And so then he starts looking at a movie and everything, and at the wall, and says, this wall is great. And then all of a sudden I feel like it's important for me to chime in and go, yeah, I think that's great. And then they all looked at me. They stopped like, I forgot to kick this guy out of the meeting that we're having right now. Why is he talking? And I'm like, hi, hello, I'm Billy. I'm your friend now. Get the hell out of here.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So you rented them the house and
It
nonetheless.
was just for a location spot, I ended up doing who knows what actually made it to the movie, because it gets morphed into all kinds of stuff.
Right,
It's
right.
a wild process.
You guys, we've come to the end of happy hour. It's all over.
That was fast.
I know. It's all gone. And now you have to get out of here, pick up your bag, get in the car,
Yeah.
and drive.
Don't
And
die.
drive.
Don't
And
die.
go
That's
into
right.
the
And you've been drinking
inevitable.
this. You've been drinking these fucking
That's
cocktails.
how I'm going to die.
She has a designated
Oh,
I
right.
started driving after cocktail
And it's going to be our
hour.
fault because I had no idea. I thought you were getting on a plane. I thought you were going to have another couple of drinks.
No, it's a road trip.
Holy crap. Are you
On
driving
that
by
night
yourself?
I am. I just got my tire pressure checked, the oil changed, fluids topped
Your
up.
dad would be proud.
My dad is proud. Thank you.
If only you hadn't had those two fucking drinks.
Only I hadn't had those drinks.
Jesus Christ. How long does it take for them to wear off so that you can? Well,
I
grams a lot.
think this is
Grams, there
mostly
a legal
iced
limit?
tea, so
It's mostly iced tea. Oh
that's
dear.
what I'm going to go with.
I've heard that before. Last time I heard that was on Bourbon Street, I think. God, well, maybe we'll make you a cup of coffee before you leave or something.
I won't say no to coffee.
We'll have to do that. Thank you so much for joining me, Lydia. Best of luck. Lydia Hand has been my
Thank
guest
you.
here on Happy Hour today, and I hope we'll see you back here soon.
Me too.
Not too soon, just
Not
when you
too
feel
soon,
like
not
coming
too
back, though.
soon.
And Billy Patu as well.
Thanks.
There's links to we have a link to your stuff on our website as well. And Jack Locke, the great Jack Locke. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
entertaining us and being part of
Thank you
Happy
for
Hour
having
again
me.
for the fifth time.
Fifth time.
You're always invited back, of course.
Thank you so much.
The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh is our music director, and the theme to this show, which you're currently listening to, was written and is being played by Mitch Foreman. The fabulous audio quality of this show is brought to you in part by PreSonus Audio Electronics. PreSonus makes some of the best audio recording and live sound products around, including Studio One music production software, Studio Live digital mixing consoles, Era Studio monitors, and much more. Visit PreSonus.com for more information about that. If you'd like to be on our show, you can stay alive for another week and stay upright for about an hour. Drop us a line. Our address is on our website, where you can also check out plenty of other Happy Hour shows, as well as our other shows on itsneworleans.com. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. Mindset with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic. True to the Game with the fabulous Chris True and Tammy Nelson. Vietnola, our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community with Kim Vu. And Midnight Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. You can keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other social media as well. On all of it, we're It's New Orleans. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Stitcher, or some other podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment to rate and review us. That really does help other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard in Central City, New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. Andrew Duhon may or may not be back here next week. Let's hope he is. Until then, for all of us here at It's New Orleans, back at the office and sitting around at the table here at Casa Borrega, I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Happy Hour.
Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Get a small sweet peach, blue raspberry, or fruit punch slushie for just $2. Or get any size soft drink for $1. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with combo meal.